I met someone recently who shared this unique problem she had with me, and it took me back to the days when I first started teaching myself. The bane of tailoring your CV to meet the job description. I absolutely used to cry because I just couldn't tailor my CV. I just felt like, what does it mean to tailor? Do I have to get a sewing machine out? What do I take out? What do I leave in? What's important? What's not important? What might feel important to me might not feel important to the recruiter if the job description does not require what I'm giving them. So today I'm going to tell you my secrets to how I tailor my CV to the job description, which has led me to many successful interviews and the ability to work in all these different countries where I have worked. My suggestion number one is to sit down and think about all the things you've ever done. You could even draw it like a mind map where you talk about, I sold fish. During my holiday, I did this. Ever since I graduated, I did care. Maybe I worked in a shop or a bank. Wherever you've worked, put it down. The good thing is that teaching requires people with transferable skills, which is why there's a company called Teach First that takes people who have been in the military, in the banking industry, in the business industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, who want a career change, and they help them get their teaching qualification. In fact, those people are going to be the best teachers. They just need the pedagogy to teach. And that's where all these different organizations come in. They know these people know the industry. So they give them the pedagogy so they can go into the classrooms and help children become the better versions of themselves with this experience. So if you're one of those people sitting down with a CV and thinking, oh, they're never going to employ me, I don't have what it takes. I've been a businessman all my life, or I've been a pharmacist all my life, or I've worked in care all my life. I want to go into teaching, but I can't go into teaching because I don't have what it takes. Fear not. I recommend sitting down and drawing up every single thing you have done. If you watch this video I have here, it'll tell you about how I went into a school in the UK and the deputy head teacher sat down with me, told me to list out all the jobs I've ever held in my life since I turned 18, and we crafted the job descriptions from each job and then removed all the parts that didn't link into teaching. Now that's what I need you to do with yourself. I need you to sit down with all the jobs you've ever held. What is required from those people in those jobs? Write it down in little bullet points around each job you have held. You're halfway there. You've come up with a job description for everything you've ever done. Then Google any teacher job description and look at it and see what in those jobs can I use in teaching. I'll give you an example. Did you write down an inventory at your job when you were a shopkeeper? Well, then, that means you are able to keep details because you're going to be writing down details of the children that you're going to be teaching. You're going to be writing data of the children's abilities in the classroom. You've already had experience by writing down an inventory or writing down a list. If you were an accountant, for instance, you can write down that you were very good with numbers. This will help you when you teach because you tick off the transferable skills that you can bring into teaching. What is it that you did as an accountant that you feel is valuable to you as a teacher? Write them down. Remove all the ones that do not transfer into teaching. For example, counting money. If you were a shopkeeper, for example, and you were giving change and you're working the tills, you don't need those skills because we don't count money in the classroom. I mean, I'm not saying you never have access to money, but that's not your job. That's not a typical teacher job description. So that's not necessary. Throw it away. Now, when you finish, take a look at all that. You've come up with the job description. On a CV, what do you need? You need your address. You know your address. You need your email. You know your email. You need your social media handles like Skype or Zoom or Google Meet. You have that. Put it there. You don't need a prophet to tell you that. So use that. The next thing you need to think about is that your professional summary. Now, this becomes a little bit tricky for people because they don't know what to put in the professional summary. For me, the best way to come up with my professional summary is I sit down and look at myself in three different ways. Who am I now? I'm a teacher, I'm dedicated, I'm analytical. That's what I am now. My skills. What can I do now? What did I do before? How did I get to this point? And how does that person make me who I am? I write it down. How do I bring all these things to a school I want to work at? So I am me now, an analytical, problem solving, team player, and all of that. Now, I used to be a shopkeeper with list out the skills. And when I come to your school, I'll be able to create a classroom where children are able to see the beauty of using numbers in the everyday life. So you've come up with your professional summary. You've summarized your profession in as little words as possible. That is that opening paragraph that goes in at the beginning of your teacher CV. Now, remember, you're not building your teacher CV yet. You're creating the master CV. That's why every single job that you've ever held is on this CV. Next is you write down the skills that you feel are just the most important skills ever to have. Are you nurturing? Are you able to work with SEND children? Are you able to, what is it? What are the skills? Don't list a myriad of skills. I think you should find 5 skills that are the most important to you. Eye-catching skills. Don't put there teaching children. That's the job of a teacher. You will not score points with that. When it's time for you to answer a job advert, you need to first read the advert because you see some schools have a lot of SEN children. If I send my CV that I've just crafted off to an SEN school, it's like I'm a jack of all trade and a master of none. So they need someone with specific skills for that job. So they would usually put things like, we need someone with SEN experience, we need someone who's able to understand how SEN children learn, we need someone who's passionate about the teaching, we need someone who's, and they'll list all those things out. Now you go to your master CV, remove all the things that you do not need for an SEN role for that job that's just been advertised that you're responding to, or you can move them down to the bottom of your current job role and put the things that highlight what an SEN teacher should have. You would usually find it in the job description. Now, when you've done that, you make sure that you limit the rest of the jobs you've had. So let's say you had 10 jobs. All the other jobs, just list 2 or 3 things for each job role. Put all the jobs there because you can't leave that part of your CV blank saying, oh, I don't want my CV to be longer than 2 pages, so I cut off my experience. No, you have to list everything you've been doing since you turned 18. So you put it down, but you leave just 2 things, 2 bullet points for each job that ties into the job description that you're applying for. Then you set it aside. You take your cover letter, and that's going to be another video, so stay tuned for that. You take your cover letter and you do the same. You remove things that do not highlight what a special education teacher should have, and then you highlight the things that a special ed teacher should have. How do you find this? Go to the job description. They will tell you what they want, so you know how to put your CV and your personal letter to show that, look, I'm here. Those things you're looking for, I have them. Next, you would go online, and this is where we use the power of technology. Ask ChatGPT, what are the skills that a special education teacher or a teacher with whatever the job role asks? The job role will usually tell you they're looking for a teacher who can teach Key Stage 2. If they're looking for a teacher who can teach Key Stage 2, you need to put things there that a Key Stage 2 teacher should have. A Key Stage 2 teacher does not help children in the bathroom. A Key Stage 2 teacher does not need someone with a mental health experience. Say you've worked in care before, remove that from your CV. They don't need that in Key Stage 2. The children know how old the children are. The children are usually between 7 and 11. That means they can do things by themselves. They're very independent. So you need to put things on your CV that that teacher should have, knowing when to support children and not carry children around. Or you will still supervise them, but your supervising role is different from a supervisory role of an early years teacher. So you go on chat and you tell chat GPT, what does a Key Stage 2 teacher role, what are the important things to add to a CV of a Key Stage 2 teacher? ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever software you use will tell you the roles. Now you take those points and you incorporate them into your CV. For example, you're meant to have a knowledge of factorization. You don't do factorization in Key Stage 1 or in early years. You do it in secondary, but it's a different level of factorization. Put it there. Your math skills, your ability to be able to break down concepts while still supporting children in a supervisory role, put it all there. So it shows that you're a Key Stage 2 teacher. If you're an early years teacher, put in there that you know about the EYFS learning goals, or you know about the K to 12 curriculum, for especially for junior K or senior K. You need to put things on there that the teacher for that role needs to have. Then always make sure you go to the top of that CV and you change the role. If they're looking for a Key Stage 2 teacher and you put that you're a lecturer, I would not hire you. If they're looking for a Key Stage 2 teacher and you put there that you're an early years teacher, I will not hire you. So when you look at your CV, after you've done all these corrections, you just tailor them and well done. Give yourself on the pat on the back, read it again, and then you're ready. You can send it off. And you don't have to copy or steal or borrow anyone's CV. You don't have to pay for a CV as well because you've just done it yourself. If you've come to this point of the video and you do not understand any concepts that I've explained today, please leave a comment down below and I will be surely there on this video to explain things, or leave a comment on what else you need me to cover in this Teach Abroad series. We need to get there, guys. We need to increase the number of people who look like this in education, in classrooms all over the world. Thank you once again for being with me to this point of the video, and I shall see you in the next episode. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye.